width of several hundreds of meters as width of the glaciers. And it's also a very long glacier. And these glacier groups are the southernmost glaciers and most close to the equator for the Eurasian continent. And we were very fast during the climbing up, so before the frog getting together, we could show you the whole picture from the top of the mountain. Just now, I'd like to give an interview to all of you. However, you were busy taking photos. It's magnificent. We have really appreciated the beautiful scenery of our motherland. We are very tired. Because you have climbed up all the way from the sea level until this point. So it's the summer vacation. You have brought the children here. I wish you a very happy tour here. Thank you. Those are the tourists coming from the southern province, the province of Guangdong here. And you must have all seen the glaciers around. I'd like to ask you a question. What's your feeling? I'm so tired here, however, I'm so happy. Feels like it's a heavenly scene. And I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm exhausted and I'm sweating. Where do you come from? I come from Jiangxi province, but I'm now studying in Guangdong province. How much time does it take you to be here, to climb up? Half an hour, and we've been taking photos all the way up here. And we could see that someone who are very sportive, they are very quick in climbing up the mountain. And what about here? Because it's not easy to get to the top of the mountain. And to this corner, to this side, we do not have the glaciers because it's a facet receiving the sunlight. The sunshine will just melt down the glaciers. And usually for the formation of a glacier, you need a cave. So for this area, it's an erosion zone at a very high altitude, at an altitude of more than 4,000 meters. And we think it's a forbidden zone for life. We can only see some moisture plants, and there's no other life, no animals at all. And then we will start to go towards the downside, and we have prepared other contents for you. The major topic of today is the protection of the glaciers and the protection of this glacier group closest to the equator for the northern atmosphere. And by 2:30, the workers here will do a thorough cleaning up for the surrounding areas. So to climb down, it would be an easier job for us. And we can have a closer contact and communication with the workers, the cleaners here. And the treatment of the trash is one of their daily duties. And I'd like to know what we will do to take care of the water here, to protect the water resources. Here we have the toilet. Because we don't have tap water, so we will use the water here. And it's an environment-friendly toilet. And for the feces and the urine, we will give the special treatment. We should pack them up to put them into a special equipment and then bring it down to the ground. So later, down there, you would show us more details. So everyone, could you imagine that here, with a large flow of tourists, people have worked so much to move all the feces and trash and other abandoned things down to the foot of the mountain in an artificial way by manpower. And you could see that the protector over there, he's still working. So on the pathway, there should be a lot of protectors, and it's the same thing with the area outside the pathway. Because the tourists come 4 seasons a year, so there is no rest time for you. So every day you have to climb up. For the slack season, people are coming to this place in a very steady manner. The number is very steady, but in hot season, people will just rush into this place. And from our camera, you can see that our pathway is at a certain distance to the glacier. And it's been 20 years that we have opened this spot to the tourists. And there's no obvious trash accumulated along the pathway. You could imagine at which point the protectors and the local cleaners, they have worked. And for those 2 mountains, the altitude is a little bit lower, 2,000 meters lower than this Jade Dragon Snow Mountain. It's still very dangerous for people to work at this high altitude. And you see our brother, he is still working over there. Every time when there's a group of people passing by, there must be some trash left over here. So for us, it's like we are working every time around the clock. And we could see from time to time the trash scattered on the ground. And our brother, just in front of us, he is picking up from time to time some small pieces of trash. Although it's not everywhere, however, it's not to be ignored. And for us, it's hard to understand why people can't just put their trash into the dustbin, because there are dustbins at both ends of this pathway. However, people just throw it away deliberately. Just a moment ago, his bag is totally empty. However, it's already half full. And there are 2 bags. One is green, another is black. So it's a classification. And the materials are also different. Usually the green bags can hold larger weight. So just now we have watched the work of the cleaners, the protectors, and we are calling all of you to respect the environment and put the trash into the dustbin. And on every platform, you could find a dustbin. So maybe on the pathway, you could just have a little patience with the trash on your hand, and you hold it until the platform to put it into the dustbin, so that our protectors would work less in such a risky and dangerous environment. So let's step down a little bit further to see what is waiting for us. Hi, do you want to say something? Thank you. Here we don't have a lot of natural life here, but the tourists are very kind, are very warm. They are saying hello to the journalists from CCTV. And today the CCTV journalists are everywhere, and we are giving the live stream programs to you through different platforms like the online platform, the WeChat, etc. And we are doing our best to show you a very colorful range of programs. So a lot of visitors and tourists are taking a small rest here. They are taking the pause here to have some breath of oxygen. For example, this is a dustbin installed at this platform. And beside the dustbin, it's a full bag. For example, the oxygen bottle inside, and some other tourists, they have decided to bring their oxygen bottle, the used up oxygen bottle by themselves down to the foot of the mountain. So every day, we will receive a maximum 10,000 tourists here. And most of them need an oxygen bottle to support their breathing. And you need to be very careful with your own body and your health. Now we can see that not a lot of people are like me. Without an oxygen bottle, we are climbing up to the top of the mountain and we are talking so much. Because I am a native from the Yunnan province, so it's not that difficult for me to do such a great job here. Over there, you can see a lot of visitors are gathering here on the top of the mountain, on the pathway, and each of them have two musts with them. One is heavy clothes in red or orange color. Another thing is the orange bottle. Actually, up on the top of the mountain, the weather is changing every time. Maybe just now it's a lot of sunshine, and now you need an umbrella to protect you from the hail or the rain. And we are still stepping down. Let's move a little bit faster because you have already admired the beautiful scenery with us. So we will try to walk faster to save time. Sir, you are carrying your baby girl up to the mountain, so it's not easy, right? Where do you come from? I come from Sichuan province, but I'm now living in Ningbo. Yes, I myself can also feel the altitude stress. Okay, wish you a happy stay here. We could see that gentleman is taking care of his baby's daughter. Although he himself is suffering from the altitude stress, he still putting the daughter on the shoulder.
看海拔下来一点，这边的这个苔藓就多了哈，这外面的绿色也就多了。
And here you could see more moss.
确实就是这个季节的话，因为夏季上到雪山顶上就雪就很少，所以大家就可以看一下这些高山的这些。
During the summertime, we could see less snow on the top side of the mountain, so more vegetation like the moss. And then when we move still slower to an altitude of 3,500 meters, you could see in places like Shangri-La, a lot of flowers, they are blossoming, and it's the most beautiful moment for the whole year. And now we are at an altitude of 4,576 meters. And dear viewers, you are welcome to leave us your opinions and also your experience sharing on our platform so we could have an interaction with you. I myself am a native from the Yunnan province. I'm also working in the Yunnan station for CCTV, so I know this place really well. If you are interested in this place, if you have any questions to ask me, please do not hesitate, and I will try my best to give you an answer or a suggestion. If I myself cannot give you a satisfying response, I could still ask the opinion of the experts to show you more knowledge. Because it's the new media platform, I really hope that you could join us and discuss on the platform with us.
我看现在我们是1点多上来的哈，现在还是持续的有这个游客。
We started to climb up to the mountain by 1:30, and until this moment, still there are people climbing up. And every day, what is the time for the cable car? It's from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We should arrange the people in a very coordinated way so that they will not come to this place at a unique moment, and they could come at different hours during the day. This is a good measure to ease the pressure on the transportation system like the cable car. Today, I know that you need to do a reservation for a ticket. You should reserve a ticket. You cannot just come here and ask for climbing up. And since today is one of the summer vacation hot season days, so does it mean that everyone should use their mobile phone or their computer to reserve a ticket before coming? Yes, we have a reservation system. And for the reservation of tickets, you could choose your preferred schedule, right? You could see that during the day for this hour period, how many tickets are left. What about this hot season? Will you surpass the 10,000 limit? If you cannot come today, you will try to reserve for a ticket for tomorrow. So here is a small notice for everyone coming to Lijiang, to Yunnan province. Because we are now in a hot season for tourism in the province, and considering the pressure limit for the cable car in the Jade Dragon Snow Mountain, you need to do the reservation one day before coming to the site.
每天下午的7点，大家注意哈，要想抢票的记好这个时间。
So every day, by 7 p.m., you would start to reserve or to book a ticket for the cable car of the next day's visit. Maybe in the future, you would consider to give more time to the tourists for this booking, for the reservation. Yes, especially during the slack season. Because we know for the Forbidden City, you could book the tickets 24 hours before. And this is a colleague. What are you doing here? I'm going down to clean the trash over there. It's very risky. Yes, it's a very steep slope, so I need some protection facilities attached to my belt. We need this protection rope and the protection belt and the helmet. We need 2 people each time to accomplish the task. So I will show you a little bit my facilities. No, it's not necessary for you to untouch everything. You could just give us an explanation. This one attached to the thigh, and this one to the waist. And this one would be finally attached to the body. And my security is within the hands of my colleague. With this rope would be attached and consolidated here. And here we can adjust the lengths. When there's an emergency, this one here would be locked, so I will not continue to fall down. So every time when you go to the steep slope for the collection of the trash, we always need 2 people to collaborate. And now we will let you to accomplish your mission, and we will use the drone to film your work. So please begin your work, and later we will show our audience how our mountain Spider-Man would work in such a risky environment. Everyone could see there's a steep slope here. And he has climbed outside the pathway. It's already the slope. Where's the protection slope? And already there are a lot of trash. For example, the packages of the food, oxygen bottles. Please look out. And please attach the security rope to your waist. Our colleague, our young colleague, is collecting the trash in order to clean up the environment, and now he's attaching the security protection rope to his waist, to his belt. And this cliff has a height of 200 meters. For how much time you've been cleaning in this way? Since the opening up of this park on the top of the Jade Dragon Snow Mountain. So it's been 20 years or so. And people here are working after 20 years in this way. Now you could see on your screen that there are two pictures. One is the live picture of our colleague working on the cliff to collect the trash, and another is by our drone. We don't have a better way than the manly way. But each time when we send a person down to the cliff, we need to ensure his security. From the picture, you could see that this knot is for the security, and the other colleague of their two-people group is working on the pathway to gradually extend the rope so that our colleague down there on the cliff could continue to move around and move further. And there is a case like this when people are throwing away their trash down to the ground, and sometimes when it's a very windy day, the wind would blow those trash down to the bottom, down to the valley of the mountain. How many times will we repeat this work? At least twice a day like this. As we could see that our colleague on the scene, they need to complete this mission twice a day. We have a security group, and the group members should first go through a professional training in order to accomplish all the tasks. And dear viewers, you could see that over there, when there is a strong wind blowing away, the clouds are moving, and the mountain at distance has been revealed. Please imagine in such an environment, there are people working in such a risky environment, and they are collecting the trash thrown away by the tourists coming to the top of the mountain. So for the tourists coming to the Jade Dragon Snow Mountain, please be aware of your actions and behaviors. The cleaners and protectors, they are working really hard to protect the environment, to make sure that all the surroundings environment is clean. So in order to securitize their mission, I could not continue to ask questions to this colleague standing on the pathway. And that cleaner is about 30 meters away. From the picture, you can tell how steep is this cliff. He has to move really slowly to collect the trash. At noon, they have already accomplished one round of the collection of the trash, and now they have to climb down again. Otherwise, when there is the wind blowing by, then this trash, uncollected, would just be blown up and go over there to the glaciers, and by that moment, it would be much more difficult for us to clean. So here I'd like to call again for your actions to protect the environment and always to behave well to protect this clean environment. And it's also thanks to the hard work of the cleaners and protectors that we have such a clean mountain. For the tourists, everyone visiting outside, they want to have a very clean and beautiful view. And if one day, imagine you come up to the top of the mountain, you see the trash everywhere, this would also be disgusting for you. Yes, indeed. We are also making our efforts to leave a very good impression to the tourists coming from the four corners of the country and even the foreign countries. So every time, this is the designated zone for the collection of the trash for this colleague. Over there are some small birds. It's the first time for me to see some other creatures other than the tourists. It must be also difficult for them because at such a high altitude, oxygen is rare. Yes. It's only 70% of the oxygen at sea level. Yes, that means at sea level, you can do normal respiration, maybe for one inhale and for an exhale, you could accomplish one respiration, and now you need to do 3 times. He's down there about 30 meters away from the pathway. It's like a diameter. And by this radius of 30 meters, he could clean this whole area. Be careful. And you are on the edge, as I can tell. And it's the farthest point he could get. And further over there, it's already the cliff. Although he's on the edge of the cliff, he's still searching very carefully for the leftovers and trash by the tourists. So inside your group, would you from time to time select some people who are working hard, like the cleaner star or the protector star for your group? Yes, every year we have such an activity, and for every season, we would award the hardest working people. As I can understand, so these people working on the cliff, they must have a greater possibility to receive an award. Yes, because their working environment is so bad and so risky. And here, the bottles and the other packages, they are the leftovers and trashes by our tourists. It starts to rain now. And the fog is coming. This is a security nest. This net is for the protection of the tourists in case of falling down. Sometimes when people have slipped or when people are not paying attention, they may lean over or get out of the pathway. In this case, we have the security net. It would be more short for them. Or sometimes they may risk to get their clothing outside the pathway, and in case that their clothes or other equipment fall, you could have this net to hold the clothes. I've collected another rod. I've repeated this sentence several times for the program. Please do not throw away the trash like that. There are dustbins everywhere. Our brother just now has cleaned up this area, and now you could see he has picked up again some other plastics and also some bags. After one round of selection, the bag is half full. Actually, in the morning, I need to get down twice, and in the afternoon, same, twice. Just behind you, there's a wood. All kinds of things thrown away. And sometimes the wood from the broken pathway would also fall down to the ground by the edge of the cliff. In this case, we need people to get down and to pick them up. Now our colleague has accomplished another round of cleaning up. He could detach himself from the security rope. And here you can see another cap for the oxygen bottle. Lots of trash here. You have a very big harvest here. Another cap here. As we can recall, our colleague has just cleaned up this zone. However, some more caps. It's only 20 minutes ago he has cleaned up this zone, and now there are trash again. So you need to repeat this procedure once again and hereafter. And there's no finish line for him. It seems like you can never finish this work once for all. Let's see what's inside the bag. After 20 minutes, we have collected a lot of bottle caps and some other leftovers and things thrown away by the tourists. As we can estimate, it's 2 to 3 kilos. And you are sweating now. Yes. For each round of collection on the edge of the cliff, if it is not raining, it would take us 40 minutes to 1 hour. And when it's raining, we could only stay inside the secured zone because it would be rather slippery on the rocks. Okay, when you take off the helmet, you could see that you are sweating a lot. First of all, at a high altitude, it's highly energy consuming for you to work in this environment. I think the professional cleaners, they have a much bigger task than we do. We are just completing their task. It's like a complementary work. Maybe the cleaners, they are working longer hours than you do, but you are working in a more risky environment because you need to climb down to the edge of the cliff outside the pathway. And along the pathway, we are doing the patrolling work. Thank you for what you have done to protect our environment. Please take a rest.
行，那各位网友啊，也就20分钟，可以看到咱们这位小哥已经是满头大汗了。我们在上面看。
Dear viewers, as you can see, after 20 minutes of work at such a high altitude, our colleagues sweating heavily. You can understand that it's no easy job to work at an altitude of more than 4,000 meters. And now we ask Mr. He to show us the treatment of the used water. And it's almost the end of our program today. And by the end of the program, we'd like to show you by what measures we could treat the used water. And I think there's a very important message for all of you who are coming to the Jade Dragon Snow Mountain or to other beautiful natural reserves and natural sites. Please prepare something to hold your trash inside, and please do not throw away the trash. And I'm giving you this call. I hope that you could remember this message. I think in that case it would make our program more meaningful. Now we are inside the cable car station. The tourists are coming from the foot of the mountain to the top by the cable car and the same downside. This is the toilet. We would show you how we would manage the used water. So Mr. He, please show us the details. We have the toilets, ladies' room, men's room. So for the feces, we would pack them up. An automated machine and equipment to pack up the feces into the bags, and then the bags would be transported into a very big container. So a very quick show. Now we are to the back of the toilet. Those are the packed waste from the toilet. This may be a little bit uncomfortable for you to see. However, in order to make you understand how this is working, we are coming to this backside of the toilet. So for every big container, it can hold 50 kilos of the waste of the toilet. Every day we need to transport 100 containers like this. From this visit to the back of the toilet, you could see that the people here, the cleaners, they are also doing an important job in keeping this environment hygienic. Just now we have started with a tour on the top of the mountain. You have admired the beautiful scenery on the top of the mountain, and then we have learned and also observed the hard work of the Spider-Man, those trash collectors. And finally, we have shown to you how we would manage the waste of the toilet at the platforms of our cable car. So at one side you have seen the scenery, at other side you could also understand at which point our people are working hard in order to keep our environment beautiful and clean. We hope that in the future, when you come to visit, you could also pay attention to the environment protection. This is about the end of our program today. We hope you a very happy holiday of the summer and a happy weekend.